In progress.
Story short, Africa is in debt. They're in debt because these European countries came there during colonialism. Mm-hmm. Then they left, which ushered in this neo-colonialism era, new colonialism, new form, 6.0, 4.0, where they're no longer inside the country, but you still kicking them money, product, raw materials. That's how you stay in debt. Because they paying child support, an exorbitant amount that they can never afford. Therefore, the European power claims ownership of your land.
And that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing in Haiti.
It's the same game across the continent, and yes, in Haiti too. You have the floor.
Well, let's be clear here to everyone who's on that. First off, I pray and hope that you all share this with all your social media colleagues. Right now, it is a huge war to keep, in America, Black people are 7% of unemployment, which is higher than any other group of people in the United States. And the way you keep a group down is economically. They may not have us in a cotton field picking cotton, but if you control our economics, that's how you control us. Oakland, Alameda County, California, and the United States of America is doing their best to try to keep their foot on Black people in America so that they can stay in control. And I'll be in Sacramento on next Tuesday talking about the biggest reason why we continuously are not able to excel is because of economics. If you control our money, you control us. And that's what we don't and we need to understand.
Mike Randolph, you want to chime in?
Oh, thank you, Donnie, for giving me an opportunity to jump in. So for those of you, I'm Mike Randolph. I'm from Tampa, Florida, by way of Sandtown. So yeah, I do see a lot of issues ahead when it comes to Black economics. I also see hope. I see artificial intelligence in the Web3 as a mechanism to transform specifically poor communities. I think this technology can be used in the Black community to change the narrative, whether it be unemployment, whether it be, for example, kids that fail in school. Well, AI can be used for every child that's failing to bring that child up to par. So imagine this, AI can be used as a mechanism to change the narrative when it comes to how we being treated now. I see that as the next best hope. Artificial intelligence is the next best hope. And if we're not there as a Black people, we're lost. Because now we got to succumb to the traditional way of doing things.
So, Sharona, what is
Esquire?
Hold tight, Doug.
Yes, sir.
Hold tight, Doug. Come on, Randolph.
Oh, thank you. Since we're talking politics,
hey, listen, Mike. You down there in Florida and you done got slow.
No, I was just listening to this engaging conversation.
Yeah, well,
I knew I was going to get in sooner or later, right?
Hey, look,
respect. I want to hear Baltimore politics.
Yeah, you done got slow.
Let me share with you about some serious Tampa. And by the way, ICE is here in Tampa. They're alive and they're well, definitely. They are over Tampa. But this was interesting in Tampa. Politics is about to change. There is a District 5 special election. District 5 special election came about because a Black lady who was heading that district passed away. So now they have a special election. In West Tampa, we have what's called a Black Agenda special election related to that, to make sure that we get the concerns related to West Tampa. Because guess what? 50% of the African American population has left since 1990. So our thing is that we want to make this race about race. Because at the end of the day, race and economics is what this is all about. They try so hard to give like 15 meetings, town hall meetings, never mention us. Guess what? We use media and we got our own meeting. And now we bringing all the politicians to where we are. Because we want to make sure that that seat remains black. And that's very important. Now we're talking about 14 people that's running. And guess what? 5 of them are Republicans. And we're talking about in the African American district related to that. So yeah, we want to make sure, and I think this going around the nation, what they're trying to do to dilute, black power. But in West Tampa, we got to surprise for them because we understand politics.
It might sound like y'all got too many damn candidates in the race.
We do. But can you understand why? Guess why? If you want to dilute,
I ain't talking about the problem. I'm telling you what the solution is. Somebody got to get out. Welcome to the show, Beverly Smith, straight out of DC. Listen, I've been trying to get DC on the phone. I don't know what y'all got going on. If they blocking y'all phone calls. Are y'all okay? This is a wellness check.
Oh, you already know we can survive that crack epidemic. We this is nothing. Come on now. We are resilient. Okay?
So what's the word? Because I see some people on social media saying, well, if you do the right thing, then you have nothing to worry about. And then I see an OG get up there saying, why y'all here now? Where were you January 6th?
Well, I think that everybody has their perspective from where they sitting at and how they see the situation that's happening. I know from where I'm sitting at, like I said, I spoke before about, different things that came into our community and kind of ravaged from the inside out. My family was affected by the crack epidemic and just a number of different drugs and different things that come into our community. Fast forward now, I'ma just speak, Donnie, I am a native Washingtonian, Southeast DC. I am the founder and executive director of Mama Safe Haven, a nonprofit organization here that work with at hope kids, not at rest. We at hope. We hoping, we keeping hope alive for our children and our families. And so back in 2006, I lost a sister to an asthma attack who left 6 children behind. And during that time, the crime rates was going up. We had a little decline in crime, but it kind of went up with the youth. And I was always going down to the courts, letting them know, we have to really get a handle on our youth. With them okaying the marijuana and just the serious laundering, all the things that's happening. One of the biggest things for me is when they took the rights from the parents with that child abuse law, when they took that from us and, the children can now say, oh, I'm going to call the police. I'm saying all this to say now here we are. Yes, we have crime in our city. A 3-year-old was shot. It's not okay. It's a lot of
do you agree with the president taking and putting the police chief on ice for 30 days?
No, the chief is not on ice. Come on now, don't do Chief Smith like that. She's not on ice. We fought. We have our rights. She's not on ice.
Sister Smith, let me say this.
You gotta let people finish what they say. Hold tight, Doug.
Let me piggyback off of what Sister Smith is saying.
Well, I'm trying to get the rest of the information. Can you just hold tight a second?
Yes, sir. Oh, thank you.
So she's not
She's still in charge. Now I'm gonna tell you what I've seen in my community. I'm in the, we see a lot, DC, you have areas where people do not come, and that's where I'm at in Southeast, in the rough areas. You do not see a lot of police operation, no DEAs, a lot of them in those areas. You will see them do a checkpoint, and that probably lasts for about 30 minutes to an hour. Specifically Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, Shepherd Park, where there is, we actually have a mural on the wall of a young girl, 5 years old, that was murdered last year. A lot of people were shot, but she was murdered right there at the corner of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. And across from there, that's a high area, high crime, drug area. They came through and was there for about 30 minutes or so. I had a friend that said they was just there by the time I got there, it was gone. It was no trace of anybody, and the area still looked as if they didn't come through there, meaning they were still, people kind of hanging out.
To take over. Lauren Taylor, who was running against Barbara Lee, I supported Barbara Lee because Barbara Lee she is an icon in regards to, Lauren Taylor received $400,000. He was running against Barbara Lee. I supported Barbara Lee because we have got to start recognizing that the powers to be are trying to take over our community. They're trying to buy out, and I'm going to mention a name so that you can remember that. Seneca Scott, who is from Ohio. They put him in here and gave him almost $1 million to run against Barbara Lee, to take away the Black power that has allowed Black communities to survive. And Sister Smith, the problems that you're having where you are the same problems that we're having in Oakland, California. We are fighting to keep the communities that we have fought, and we are fighting to keep against this Trumpism, this MAGAnism. Thank you.
Yeah.
Can I jump in real quick?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. So in Florida, let's talk about Florida politics. In the state of Florida, the whole government is ran by Republicans. Democrats have very little to say. They can do what they want. In the state of Florida, they're doing what's known as dodge from the federal level. They're doing it on the state level. They're coming to every county to make sure that they don't have any DUI or any of that stuff, and they're dealing with the public. So when you look at what Donald Trump is doing, imagine the same thing is being done here in Florida. And as a matter of fact, they're going to re-erase the districts and make it more white than black. Just like they're doing in Texas. The same thing is about to occur here in Florida.
Let me say this.
And they're trying to do it in California. Trust and believe that.
Let me say this, guys. I think that, like I said, here in DC, everybody's saying they're using us as the guinea pig or the first one. We're not a state. We don't have representation. It's a lot of different things that's going on here in DC. But I think that as a people, we have to look at the rights that we do have and what we can fix. And I'll say it like this: what we have the power of, right? What power do we have? The power is in the people, right? And looking at where the power is. So we have elders in our community. We also have our youth, and then we got our parents. I think it's really important for us to start educating our youth and our parents and making sure we're doing the cleaning up of our own streets and not pacifying or making excuses for the things that's happening and just looking for an opportunity to say, oh, okay, he doing this, it's good media, it's good press to talk about all this stuff, but let's look at what's really happening right now. I'm actually in Warrenton, Virginia right now here with Mr. Robert Woodson, who is a Republican, by the way. But anyway, he's here doing a CAN meeting. We're doing our retreat here in Warrenton, Virginia, and it's really about us being a part of our solution. There's so many solutions in our community right here in DC. There's boots on the ground organization that is combating any kind of negativity with the DEA or ICE or anyone that's coming in. And a lot of those things is not being shown in the media. The media is being very, and y'all know that, being very intentional about what they showing people. DC is the star on the map, but we're a huge state. I mean, and you heard me say state. We are, we are huge in our own right, and we're not allowing it. The mayor is not allowing it. We done went up to her house and her office. They're not going to show y'all all that.
Find what it means to be black, because as Donnie likes to say, all skin ain't kin. Black is not a skin color, it's a state of mind. It's more importantly, it's a state of heart. And in order to be that, you got to have some courage to stand somewhere. You can't keep moving every time the tide changes or somebody tells you, no, you don't, if you don't decide for yourself where you're going, you'll never know when you get there.
So I think that this is part of a larger picture. When you look at Project 2025, when you look at the fear of white America, that minorities are going to control this, not control the country, but it's going to be more of us to them. Trust me, those plans that we see now was planned years ago because of fear of them losing that population.
This is a reminder.
My brother, let me say this. One of the things that I really am encouraged, the brother in Africa, the brother whose name is Ibrahim Traore, the president, youngest president of Burkina Faso, he is pushing forward to in Africa. And Africa is the richest country in this world. We need
Tricontinent.
Excuse me?
It's the richest continent.
Never mind.
No. Africa is the richest country in this world.
Continent.
Africa is the richest continent in this world. And we need to start looking at how he is pushing back on Western civilization, who has made it seem like Black people, we are these cotton-picking, stupid Negroes, and we need to start pushing ahead with his agenda. We have our own, we have resources that can help us, not just here and not just in Africa, but across this country. We need to start developing those resources that's going to help Black people develop ourselves to be who we really are, kings and queens.
Let me ask you this. Can y'all on this panel work with Africans?
It depends.
I'm working with them now.
It depends.
I already work with Africans.
It depends. It depends because first of all, the continent was not named Africa by the people who lived there. Just like we didn't get out and we are burns in reality. But it depends, Donnie, because the real division is not black and white. It's those who have and those who have not. Right? And the final and the
white people think it is.
Pardon me?
Why do poor white people think
because they've been taught the same way we've been taught.
That's right. Yeah.
They've been taught. They're not born. You're not born black or white. That's a cultural construct that you are taught, and you are taught to believe what that means. But in the final analysis, the problem is that 1/10 of the world has got 99% of the wealth and resources. And that other 99% that ain't got nothing and never will have it unless they come together. And we would be wise to learn from the lesson from Malcolm when he came back from Mecca. When he came back. And he came back. Hold on, Doug. I'm gonna give it back to Donna. He can give it to you if he wants you to have it.
When he came to the dispensary out there in California, so he can relax.
When he came back from Mecca, what he said was he made a tremendous discovery. Not one that caused him to change his name, if you recall. Mm-hmm. What he discovered was that there were people whose skin was white, there were people whose skin was yellow, there were people whose skin was brown, and there were people whose skin was just like mine, and they all called each other brother and meant it. See, when Dixon was running for office, all the pundits said ignore Big Town or ignore whatever the poor white district of the city. I said no. Put on your most Afrocentric garb and go down and say, look, you can either fight me or we can fight together for our children, because believe it or not, your kids are in the same school system as mine and yours are just as dumb as mine are.
Going down there and
I certainly will. But before I do that, just let me say that I believe the solution is in Africa. If American here, Black, unite with those in Africa, we can change the whole narrative. But quickly, let me share my program that's coming up. And out of transparency, let me tell you where I got the idea from. I got it from Donnie's show. Donnie had people talking about crypto on his show. He had people talking about the Web3. And then he had people talking about blockchain, and he had people talking about artificial intelligence. I took that idea, and in West Tampa, we created the West Tampa Technology Wealth Building and Job Creation Center. What's critical about that is that we're using artificial intelligence to get jobs for people who normally wouldn't get jobs. Those with criminal records, those with no type of skills, senior citizens, those who are on Social Security. We're using artificial intelligence in the Web3 to change the narrative. And again, Donnie, I want to thank you, man, because of all the shows I've been watching. That's where the idea come from, and that's why Black media is so important. Thanks again.
Good job, Mr. Bob, you got the final word, big brother.
When you're on an airplane, the flight attendants tell you in the case of turbulence and if the airbags are deployed, they